Yeah, good morning. The other day, with Stevie French and Kevin Sumer. This time, this is when we was in a pub having a meal with my mate Terry Haley and a few other people, and Dave Courtney. His name come up from Kevin, and he was talking about Dave Courtney. He likes Dave Courtney. Dave Courtney, it was his pal. Same as Stevie French. Dave Courtney was his pal. So I don't want to get involved. I wouldn't get involved with that conversation. So I said to Kevin Swimmer, look, he ain't someone I like, mate. I can't, and I'm not going to run him down to you now. But me and him didn't get on, mate, and I just don't like the geezer, and that was it. In a way, I suppose it's a shame that maybe we would have been pals. You know what I mean? We would have been good friends. But Dave Courtney, if he hadn't have done what he done to me, perhaps he would have done. You know what I mean? But when I look back on the way he was, just really, me and him have been having phone calls for years and years and years. People didn't know about that. This before he had his big firm. He had three or four people around him who used to always wear black gloves. Yeah, and I met him, and things were said, and that was it. And then other things were said, and this was said, and then the Beckett with Lenny McLean, and all that, and he was sort of like not ever. He didn't run Lenny McLean down because he couldn't run Lenny McLean down because Lenny McLean was a proper man, and Lenny McLean is and was a legend. So he'd always be a legend, Lenny, But when he got in the ring with Lenny and then he punched him all round the gaff, I thought to myself, well, Lenny done that to him, and I would have loved to have done that to Dave Courtney, because of what he done. Uh, it's more, I was more embarrassed for Dave than myself, and I thought what he done was a liberty. As I say, me and him didn't get on at all, phone calls, this, that, and the other. And to meet a guy like that, and we don't get on, and you meet him in prison, it's a doing cat of fish. But I met him in prison on a visit, I was having a visit from my kids, and Dave Courtney was having a visit, not a visit, he was seeing someone in there, There was two or three of them sitting around the table, and I looked over and I see Dave Courtney, and I didn't acknowledge him, but I looked over, So I sat, I'm sitting down with my kids, eating bounties and bits and pieces, having a bit of food. And like you do, I looked over again at him, and I noticed that you just feel, I felt that he was looking over at me. So I turned around and looked over, and he gave me a hand sign, that sign, And I thought to myself, do I get up and put it on him, you know? Because I'm not going to bang him, I'm not going to clump him in prison and get like, I'm doing Big Bird, So I thought, nah, just best thing to do is just leave it, Just leave it. And when I come off the visit, I had a talk with the guy that he visited, and I was a bit disgusted. You know what I mean? I disgusted that Dave could do that on a visit with me and my kids. And there was not kids. There was 16, 15, 16 years of age. But you don't do that. You don't do that. You know what I mean? It's like embarrassing. It's embarrassing for me because then my kids, imagine if my kids see that, and it'd be even worse. So anyway, that's why me and Dave didn't really get on, and and then to see Dave quite a lot, and then with Jimmy Tibbet once, I'm down under a car park with Joe Pyle, Roy Shaw, Jimmy Tibbet, and a few other people, and I'm looking over, and there's Dave Courtney with some people, and he's giving it the large as such, not to me, but he's giving it the large, and I explained, I looked over and I said, Jim, I said, you see that geezer over there? I said, mate, you don't realise this geezer, like, he's so close to me getting of me, like, just smashing him to pieces. He said, Dave Courtney. I went, yeah. He said, what's the problem? I said, well, I told him. He said, well, why did you just go over and give him a clump, yeah? And I thought, nah, you know. And then he looks over me, Dave Courtney, and I got to say, fair play to Jimmy Tibbet, you know. He walks over to Dave Courtney, and Dave Courtney melted. Dave Courtney melted. I mean, if that floor had opened up, Dave Courtney, he'd have gone in it, you know. He just melted, mate. You know, I should have done and dealt with it there and then, but I didn't, yeah. I didn't, I let it go. I think he was talking to young Joe Pyle as well. Young Joe Pyle wasn't that very old then, you know. But it's a shame. It's a shame that happened, and maybe we might have got on, yeah. But you know, once I don't know why. I don't know why Dave thought he was something, and he wasn't, yeah, and he wasn't. Anyway, bang bang well. Good morning, yeah.